Welcome inside the kennel, the heartbeat of the dog game, where real breeders break down real experiences and the experts drop the knowledge you can't Google. We're talking structure, bloodlines, nutrition, training, wins, losses, and everything that makes champions in and out of the ring. This is for the ones who live it, breathe it, and build it, one lit at a time. Your host, Kevin Ben and Roderick. Lock in. Lock in. Lock in.
All right, Benny Hood here with inside the kennel, and I'm here with Eric and Christine from Paw Power, or Paw. What is it? It's Paw Power, but it's the dog butter is y'all's main seller, right?
Paw Power Nutrition is the name of the company.
I'm sorry.
Dog water is the product.
Well, there you go. And Christine specializes in dog training, and from what Eric says on a daily basis, she's pretty good at it. So we have a few questions after she intros herself here. Is well, you want to go ahead and get it started with tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into that, and what makes you different from other trainers? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I feel like you are from what I see on the lives.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so Christine Pasquale Schwartz is my name. And I'm originally from Bensonhurst, Brooklyn. I'm sure everybody can hear that in my accent. Um, I'm a little bit of a thing. I'm 4'10", but I'm feisty as hell. Um, I was born loving animals from a child, literally. My father could tell the story. I don't remember it, but I say it because my father is not well. So I like to talk about him sometimes. Um, my first dog was a dog from the pound 100 years ago because I'm 50 now. So I was maybe 4, 5. It was a little min pin.
Now,
And
I don't mean to interrupt you, but you do know your math's not math in there, right? You're 50 years old. It was 100 years ago, and you got it when it was
you know what
four.
I mean. I'm being funny. I'm being
I,
sarcastic.
I know.
So we brought that dog. They brought that dog home for me, and within a couple of weeks, my father said whatever language, whatever 4-year-old language I was saying back then, the dog just did everything I wanted it to do, whatever I said as a kid. So now I don't remember that, but be that as it may, that's what my father says. I used to sit out the window and just look at birds, uh, play with insects when I was a kid. Oddly enough, I'm now afraid of insects, but not then. Um, I learned later that I had some kind of connection. It was on the inside. It's not something that you learn. It's not something that I could explain. I just felt something. And I was always with animals. All dogs, just, I didn't have a fear, but I always knew to respect them. And that's a lot in there about the respect. But maybe we'll talk about that later. Um, so I started going to a shelter, and I'll leave the name out, but I found out that a lot of bad things happen in some shelters. And I learned that there was a big difference between shelters, certain shelters, and rescue. So I popped over to rescue work. But I've literally been handling dogs since I'm 15, like off the record, without saying I'm a trainer. Just people would say, "Hey, I see how good you are with your dog." Later on, I had gotten a pit puppy, and I had that pit trained on point, and I mean on point. I would put a piece of steak on her nose, and I would just tell her to wait, and she wouldn't take it off of her nose until I said okay. As a matter of fact, she saved my life. I was in the Bensonhurst Park. I was in my 20s, and there was 4 people, 4 men coming in my direction from either side, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I said, "Y'all keep coming to me. I'm going to release this dog." Now, Bandit, her name was Bandit. She didn't say a word, not a sound. They kept coming closer and closer, and I unclipped her leash and I gave her an odd sound that only she knew. And she went from my kneecap and lunged right up to the first guy that was right in front now, and just held on to his neck. The other 3 ran. I gave her a command, another odd sound, and she stopped and came right back to my kneecap, and he left. So that dog saved my damn life.
I imagine he
But
needed to go straight to the hospital. He left because
no,
he,
I didn't train her to hurt. I trained her to hold.
well, then
So
he needed,
she didn't rip him apart. She just held him until I gave her a command to let it go.
then he went to the nearest department store to buy new underwear.
Probably,
Yeah.
yeah. He
Yeah.
flew away. Nonetheless, I didn't know jack shit about training, commands, hand signals, 1, 2, 3, ba ba ba. Everything I did with that dog was right here, natural, whatever I did. And after that, every dog thereafter, I would train just like that, just like that. And I knew I wanted to be a trainer. And I started then the internet came out, and I started looking up these certifications. And oddly enough, I was walking one of my mastiffs by the vet, Park Slope, Brooklyn. And lady's like, your dog is so well trained. Like, I can't believe how big and blah blah blah. So long story short, I said, yeah, well, like, I want to be a trainer. I said, I'm thinking about going online to get one of these courses so I get a certificate. She goes, don't waste your time. She goes, they mean absolutely nothing. She goes, if you train dogs, train dogs. Fast forward, Eric and I, we had our English bulldog, and I brought Pablo home. So I wanted to. Olympia didn't like other dogs, so there was beef in that house. Um, so Olympia, I did all the work with her that I knew from inside, not from education, just experience. So I worked with her, and I said, Eric, I can't get her to stop this behavior. Long story short, he knew somebody who ended up to be my professor, my mentor. Now that's pretty critical to who I am now, to what I am now. So she came over, yada yada. She helped us with Olympia, and she ended up staying all day, all night. And I listened and I hung on to every word that this woman said. I was like mesmerized. And by the time she left, she said, I want you to come to my group training class next week. So I signed up, I paid for it. I don't want to take anything for free or anything. And me and Pablo went. So, that the dog, one of the dogs we have now, he was still a baby. And I was attended like a student. By the third week, she goes, leave Pablo home because you're now my apprentice. She goes, don't speak unless spoken to. Do as I say, you'll be fine. Okay. So the next couple of weeks, I did exactly what I was told and said no word. She would give the lesson, and I would go around, go help the people, go to each person with their dog and help them with whatever it is that she taught. A few months thereafter, she says, okay, I'm gonna set you a little bit more free. She was, you can start taking clients. I was like, what? Very important. A week before that, we go into the class, and she goes, today we're gonna do stay in place. Stay is one of the hardest commands to teach. Stay in place, and it's gonna be taught by Christine. Who, me? So I got nauseous as all hell because I have really bad anxiety. I went right into the bathroom, threw up, went back into the room, and I said, Laura, I can't do it. She goes, no, you got to do it. I said, but I need to hold the paper that you gave me, her obedience manual. She goes, can't teach a class and hold paper. So it was like it was like I was like Linus with the blanket with this obedient manual. She goes, can't teach a class. So I put it up on something that was there, and I went in the middle of the room, and I couldn't read it, but I could see it. And I started, and I stumbled. And then right after that second stumble, I was off. I taught the entire lesson without stumbling. I completed it. At the end, I cried hysterical because I was so nervous. Everybody left. She grabbed me and she goes, I'm going to set you free a little bit more. You could be my trainer under me. I said, really? She was, yeah, you could start getting paid for it too. I was like, really? No. One by one client by one client. Everything went through her. About a year later, she goes, you're on your own. I don't need to proof your work anymore. Just call me if you have a problem. Make sure you do this, that, and there. Okay. So all now you can fast forward right to here. She retired. She left me the business. So I now own the business that she developed over 30 years. And because we own Paw Power and because we ain't rich, I still have a full-time job. So I have not put any advertisement into dog training. Every one of my clients is word of mouth, referral, one after the other, after the other, after the other, all referrals. And I also now do, for the last 2 years, I now do behavior. Beside basic obedience one, basic obedience two, I do some aggression handling, but I also now do behavior. And I can tell you that it's inside. I can teach anybody the curriculum. I can teach you sit down, stay, leave it, drop it, the hand signals, the words, blah, blah, blah. But I cannot teach you what's in here. People say, how do you do that? How do you do that with an aggressive dog? How do you just walk in? The dog that I am with right now, okay, Buzz Buzz. Come here, boy. Come here, boy. Can we see Buzz Buzz? That's
We
Buzz.
do see him.
Okay. So Buzz is a very huge pit bull. And the day I walked into this house, hey Buzzy boy, come here, baby. The day I walked into this house, I looked at him and I said to myself, this dog's gonna bite me. And I know he's gonna bite me, and I'm gonna let him bite me because I needed to know what type of bite, how hard he was gonna bite, if he was gonna go backwards, forwards, what was he gonna do? Was it fear aggression? What was it? So in a split second, that's the conversation I had with this dog. And in another split second, he bit, didn't break skin, and he backed up. Exactly what I needed to see. So I said to the client, I said, okay, I'll see you in 30 days. They had just rescued the dog 48 hours prior. You have to let the dog decompress. The dog has to get a sense of belonging, a sense of where his home is. I said, I'll see you in 30 days, and then we'll start the program. 30 days pass. I walk back in this door. The dog remembers me with no issue. And we did the work. This dog was really, really, really messed up. Really, and I mean messed up. So this was basic obedience. This was behavior modification. The fear, the anxiety, the aggression because of the fear, cowering down. We don't know his past. So point of all that is you can't teach that feeling. I can't tell you how to feel that when I walked in the door. When I walked into somewhere a couple of weeks ago, they wanted me to meet a dog. I said, nope, I'm not handling this dog. Right off the bat. All it is a feeling. It's innate. I'm born with it. There's 4 dogs total in my life that I won't handle. I walked in and it was even before Laura. I walked in to a place and I met all the dogs. And when I got to this one specific dog, I said, nope. Oh, no. I found out over time because nobody told me that particular dog was very vicious and aggressive. But I didn't know that then. But I knew not to touch the dog.
So when you say it's on the inside, so I can only imagine that you there's got to be a transition where you're not just training the dog too, you're training these owners as well on how to deal
Well,
with the
that's a whole nother thing. Yes, I can train the dog, no problem. I can work the dog, no problem. It's people. They have to want to do this. They have to want to invest the time, the money, but more importantly, the time, because training is all about consistency. If you are not consistent, if you do not follow through, the dog is not going to learn. You yell at the dog is not going to learn.
So I thought personally that I was pretty good with dogs, and then I listened to your live one morning, and you really hurt my feelings when you said that we project a lot of human emotions and behaviors onto dogs. Because I just always talk to my dogs like they were kids, and it's always worked. They're not running around saving lives or doing really cool tricks, but they're pretty obedient, and that's just how I was taught raising up.
And this, and you know what? you can't pick and choose the dogs that you get. If you got those dogs and it worked out for you, that's fantastic. I ain't gonna knock you for it. But your next dog, that may not work.
Well,
What we do,
I've had
what
dogs that didn't work that we butted heads. Yeah.
right. So there when we talk to dogs like they're humans, and when we think for them, meaning I know that this is what this dog is feeling. I know he knows what he did. I know this, I know that. Well, first of all, how the hell do you know? That's number one. Did he tell you? Because they talk very differently than we do. Um, when you baby the dog has no respect for you. Zero. Doesn't want to work for you, doesn't want to do anything. The dog is on the same level as you when you treat it like a human. And they don't have all the human feelings that we do. They are not spiteful. There is no such thing. They are not jealous. Those two things, everybody says, oh, spiteful, jealous. Not a thing. Dog does not say, oh, I'm gonna go bite that person because I'm jealous that my mom is giving too much attention to that person. That ain't a thing.
So
Does
what
a
is it?
dog
What is it if they have one particular toy they won't let any other dogs touch?
That's
Because
called resource. That's called resource guarding. That's not jealousy. That's resource guarding. Resource guarding is a learned behavior, meaning dogs do not come out the box saying, "This is mine, and I ain't ever gonna give it to you." It's learned over time, by events that happen to the dog that now learn to say, "I don't want you to have that." An example. When you have a puppy mill, right? A lot of them are fed in troughs, big boxes, like they feed horses with hay in it. So they have a trough, and they dump all the slop into this trough, and all the puppies got to race to that trough to eat. The bigger puppies, the stronger puppies, they get there, right? What
yeah.
about the smaller guys? What about the ones that can't reach? What about them? They got to fight to get there. This is one best example of how resource guarding happens. Oh my God, if I don't fight to get to food, I'm going to starve. And then once he gets it, he's over it like this. This is called resource guarding. I'm guarding what's mine. Resource guarding is bad behavior. Putting his body over something and going like this, he's guarding it. He's telling you it ain't yours, and you come near me, I'm gonna take it. So that's why you see a lot of dogs that have food aggression. They had a fight to get their food. They didn't know where their next meal was going to come from. You're damn right that they're going to guard it thereafter. They learned that versus protection. You ever see some people, they got like little dogs, right? They're holding them, they're coddling them. Oh, the baby, the baby. You go near that person, right? What does the dog do?
Oh
And
yeah.
lunge for you. So the person says, oh, the dog is just protecting me. No, it's not. No, it's not. Dog is guarding you. Here's the difference between guarding and protection. And I really try to educate the public on this because they don't get it. A dog was born with the innate behavior. Innate means I'm born with it. Innate behavior to protect. Protect is a perceived threat. I am going to protect my house, my people, anything. Because a criminal broke into my house and has got a gun and coming after my people. That's a perceived threat. The dog is going to protect his people, his house, and go after that person. Versus guarding. Guarding, again, is a learned behavior. So dogs come over and they sit on your feet. They're guarding. What they're doing is pissing on you. They're saying, this is mine. I'm claiming you. Just like I said, when they have this thing, they lean over it. That's guarding. When a dog sits on your feet, they're guarding. They're claiming you. Anybody comes here, they very well could react. When you're picking them up and you're coddling them, what happens is, over time, we create anxiety. They don't come out the box with anxiety. This is all linked together. By coddling and talking to the dog like a human. Every time the dog reacts, rah, 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 and we go like this, What you
Oh
just
yes.
did was
Yeah.
reward the dog for feeling like shit. Oh my God, you're scared. You're telling me it's okay to be scared. That's what we did. We learned the dog. It's called learned behavior. So, another example, thunderstorm. Oh my God, the dog started shaking, rattling, rolling. We pick up the dog. We lay down on the floor with the dog. We pet the dog. Oh, baby, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. You taught the dog that you should feel exactly the way you do every time you hear thunder. Because the touch from the human and the acknowledgement from the human is the highest thing that a dog can get. Your praise. You touched the dog, you just rewarded the dog for feeling like shit, for tremoring when there's a thunderstorm. That's the difference between protection, guarding, and how we give a dog anxiety. Treating it like a human, coddling it, petting it, telling it every time you see or hear that thing, I'm going to protect you. What happens is the reverse. Instead of the dog being your protector, you become the dog's protector by coddling. Oh, I got you, baby, baby, baby. Now the dog has to guard, piss on you, sit on your feet, okay? Guard his protector.
Well, I'm just
Becomes
gonna let you know
opposite.
I'm showing this video to my wife when she gets home. 100%. This is an internal struggle in our house, but with the kids as well.
Right, right. Yeah. Folks do not understand that there is a difference between the two. They don't want to or understand or acknowledge that the dog isn't human. And and one of the greatest things that people talking about that learned behavior, talking about resource guarding when the dog doesn't want to share whatever it is that it's got. When we put a dog on the bed without being trained, without being invited, we are giving the dog the highest privilege. He will learn to guard that bed because it's his. You know how many clients I get that call up and say, "Oh, I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, there's never out of nowhere. Out of nowhere, my dog bit my husband, my boyfriend, my girlfriend, my wife. Why? What happened? Give me the dynamics. Give me the whole story. Oh, well, my husband was brushing his teeth in the bathroom. Me and the dog were laying in the bed. My husband comes out the bathroom. He goes to get in the bed. Dog bites. Well, guess what? That ain't out of nowhere. The dog was guarding you, the human, and his bed because you gave it to him. He don't want somebody in the bed now. Now I got to undo that behavior. Very difficult to undo that. Dogs, couches, beds, big mistake unless you're inviting them, unless they're trained, unless they know that it is yours. Dogs lack the opposable thumbs. We have the thumbs. We are their resource. We give them. Their food is not theirs. Their toys is not theirs. Their leash not theirs. Everything that we give them is yours, not theirs. They got to work for it. There's one free resource that a dog gets: water. The dog does not have to work for water. He gets water, period, end of story. Everything else, the dog's got to work for. Dog needs a job.
So,
All dogs need a job.
well, you didn't mention food there. So, would it be a bad idea to free feed dogs?
Meaning leave the food down all day?
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely. That is a bad idea. Reason being is there is no consistency, there's no structure, and not Eric can talk about that later. It's not really great for the health, but there's no consistency, there's no structure, and it's free for you. You don't got to work for it. And what are you, a smorgasbord? What is this, a restaurant? All you can eat buffet? No, you get 15 minutes to eat. You don't eat it, it goes away. Period. End of story.
We hurt some feelings around here.
The dog will eat when it's hungry, but there's no free feeding. All right. So you got 10 dogs, 10 street dogs. They all live on a different corner. The first dog wakes up, he goes, gets 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All 10 dogs are walking in a pack now. They go to this bakery because they get yesterday's bread. They go to the deli. They get yesterday's cold cuts that the guy throws out and gives to them. Then after that, they wobble over and they go to the pizzeria. That guy makes them personal pies just for them. They keep going. They keep going, and the day's over. They go to all these places. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They go back to their spots. They do that every single solitary day in the same order. Structure, consistency. Dogs need two things to survive. Two, only two. Where's my next meal coming from? And how am I going to survive? Every time they do the same thing and they survive and get their meals, they will do it over and over again. Structure and consistency. So that's what we don't do. We give them what we think is protection. I give you a house, a roof over your head. I put a coat on you when it's cold. I make sure that you don't run across the street and get hit by a car. Yeah, that's all well and fine. You're supposed to do that. That's why you have an animal. You better take care of the animal. But that's not what the animal understands. That's not the animal's type of protection. Protecting the dog in his brain is giving him a job and having him work for you. All dogs are willing to work for something, whether it's your love, your attention, your affection. That's the first sentence in my basic obedient manual. First.
Oh, you have a book?
It is the original basic obedient manual that Laura,
Oh,
like I said, that she gave me. It's written and copyrighted, and my clients get it as a handout when I am done with that lesson. So all the lessons are there. When I'm done, I hand it to them, and then I'll go home and go to my computer and send them my notes because my professor, my mentor, she's a two-time PhD. She speaks like a doctor, and I don't. I speak like I'm from the streets. So when I teach my classes, when I teach clients,
I, mean,
I speak the way I speak.
I kind of thought you might have been in the original Rocky myself.
Exactly. Exactly. And mind you, during the day, 9 to 5, I know how to speak because I have a job. I put a suit on, and I manage 900 million, 260 million dollars, and I know how to speak to people. As soon as I leave that office, this is what comes out of me.
I get that. I worked in the oil field for 25 years here in Texas, and it's a little different when you're dealing with the suits versus the people on location.
That's right. I know how to tone it down. I know when I have a client that won't appreciate my lingo. I know when to turn it up and when to turn it down. So, I mean,
Would Eric agree with that, or
agree with which part?
that you know when to turn it up and turn
No
it down,
comment.
or is it just up?
No comment.
No comment, smart man. Y'all been together a long time, right?
Long time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, so I got a couple questions.
About 23 or 24 years at this point.
Well, that's a pretty good run nowadays because they don't last like that anymore. So I got a couple questions for you, and they're probably low 101 because you kind of started off there on the you know the collegiate level of training, but
I can't help myself.
I
That's the problem. I keep going.
well
You have to
now,
shut me
now
down.
you do have my interest up. Now, do you only do this training in person, or is this if you're at a distance, is this online like on a Zoom or a video call? You can work with or help people out on how to train their dogs and break their behaviors.
So I'm private in home. I go to people's homes. Yes, I can do online, depending on what it is that the people need. Depending, because sometimes when it comes down to behavior work, I got to see the dog. I got to watch the behavior. And when people call me on the phone, oh, I got this, that, and the third, they don't know what they're really seeing. They don't know. Meaning, my dog bit this person as it was walking by. Yeah, well, where was the tail? What did the eyes look like? Where were the ears? Where were all four paws? That all matters. People don't know that. All those things matter.
It'll be a lot simpler for what I'm asking because I got 14-year-old boys, and that's what I want you to train.
Okay.
Not dogs.
Oh,
Two-legged
no.
boys.
Forget
No,
that,
yes,
kid.
yeah,
Do
good at.
I get that all the time. Do you train kids? Nope. Do you train husbands? Nope.
They're gonna break me. I'm never gonna make it out of this life alive. It's too many of them. But so like so you went over some of the common mistakes, is treating them like humans and you being the protector instead of and reinforcing the bad behavior when they do it. Is there any other like just straight like just 101 everybody should know this if you have a pet, these do not do these three things or five things, whatever you would say the most common and detrimental to long-term, behavior.
Do not let the dog in the bed untrained unless the dog is trained. You're creating a problem. Do not coddle the dog and pet the dog when the dog is in some kind of way, some kind of mood, some kind of activity is happening. Do not pet the dog. You're reinforcing however the dog feels. How do you handle that is by getting out of it. Get out of the negative into the positive. The dog is afraid or reacting to something that's coming towards him, whether it be the mailman, a bicycle, the bus, whatever it is. Turn around and go away. Get the dog out of the line of sight. The way they fixate, they get worse. When you talk, dog gets worse. When you yell and scream, you are taking the adrenaline level and shooting it up for the dog. Dog is reacting to you. So if you're going, oh my God, the dog is going, oh my God, I have my mother, my mama, my papa is going crazy. I gotta go even more crazier. The more you go, the more that dog goes, you're making it worse. Just turn around and get the hell out of there. Do not have your dog off leash. Off leash is one of the biggest problems. If your dog is not trained, and when I say if your dog is not trained, I mean military trained. I don't agree with off leash as my personal opinion. I don't believe in off leash training at all unless these dogs are born and trained for military purposes. And I know both sides of the world. And a very sad story yesterday on Christmas. Reason why I say this off leash. A dog bit somebody because that somebody walked into their house and should not have walked into the house. The dog bit. The person then killed the dog. Killed on the spot. Keep your dog in the house. Put the dog on a leash. And really, really, really important, people need to, before they go out and buy this puppy because they saw it on a movie, they saw it on the street, or they saw my very well behaved mastiff or pit bull, why don't you educate yourself on the type of dog that you think you want? Because not every dog is for every family. You
Well,
got people going out there getting dogs that are hyper by nature, that are working dogs that need a job, like cattle dogs. Um,
one
they
of the
go out and they go out and get dogs that they don't know anything about because they saw it on a movie or because it's cute. Look up the dog information and educate yourself to make sure the dog is a right fit for you and your family. There are dogs that absolutely need training. Absolutely, they will take over your life, your world, and they will hurt you if you do not train them. And then how do you think these dogs end up getting dumped in the rescues or in the shelters and getting put down? Oh, I don't like this dog. It bit because you didn't do any research before you got this particular breed.
well
This breed may
that
not be good with people, may not be good with other animals, may not be good with kids. Educate yourself. Go online. You're online for everything else. Go online and read up on this type of breed. Does it fit in your apartment? Does it fit in your life? If not, find another breed.
So that's one of the questions that I had for you is like, can you give like three breeds that for like a novice, a family that they're getting their first dog that's very trainable. It's not going to require, a lot of experience with animals. And it's something that would, cause look, I think a lot of the times, like if a house pet, if a dog was bought as a house pet and it ends up getting dumped somewhere or put in a shelter, I would bet money it's more for potty training than biting.
If it's
At
early
least, at
on,
least around here. Well, when I say a puppy, like I'm not talking about a grown dog. That's a different
okay.
deal. Like people have expectations, and usually, if you're getting a grown dog, like there's some other motivation there, right? Like most people, right or wrong, they want a puppy, and that's just how it is. So, like, if
Right.
you're what three breeds? If you were getting a puppy and it was your first puppy, or you're just not that experienced, what three breeds are the most trainable in your opinion? And what three breeds do those people need to stay away from to avoid, feeling like they need to rehome the dog or put it in a shelter or whatever in 6 months?
Labs, a Labrador Retriever, uh, Golden Doodles. They started out okay. You got they're not
Well,
bad,
they're
but
they're, they're kind of not their own deal though, right? Like, I mean, I guess their own subsection, but they're just they're a mix at the end of the day, right?
right, but they're super popular, like all over the place.
So
Over
is
here
it the
anyway.
is it the poodle that gives it more of that, or the retriever?
What do you mean? Say that again.
So it's a mixed breed, right? So which one of those breeds is it the combination of them together, or is it
Yes,
the
a
lab
golden,
or the I mean sorry the golden retriever or the poodle that has the better behavior of the two breeds that are mixed?
the golden,
The golden.
the golden. Yeah. So you got the Labrador Retriever, you got the Golden Retriever. Uh, um,
I see a
what are
pattern developing here.
what other kind of dogs? You put me on the spot here about what.
It's just your top three. Like there's got to be maybe you have 10. You know what I'm saying? But like I'm gonna be honest with you, I would never tell somebody to get Chihuahua. Those things are so aggressive.
Chihuahuas are they are
Everybody wants them because they're small, but man, they got that small man, like that small dog mentality, and they just
yes.
I've never been around one that didn't want to bite me, and I don't have that kind of problem with dogs.
Yeah, little dogs, some of them are yappy and mouthy. Um, they're harder to train because they're low to the ground, to be honest with you, and you have to start low to the ground with them before you could stand upright and talk to them.
Hmm.
I know no one's gonna understand what the hell I'm talking about, but you cannot take a little dog that's all the way down here and stand all the way up and train the dog from up there. You have to start closer to the dog, and then you can wean your way up. Um, I honestly can't think of another breed. Name something, and I'll tell you.
As far as good or bad,
Good.
for good for me, it my whole life until I got a Frenchie, it was a Labrador or a Healer.
All right. Healers are good. They're good. You just have to have room for them.
Yeah, I live on 7 acres, so that
Right.
was never the issue. But yeah, as far as like, I didn't even really feel like I trained that dog, and she was smarter than at least two of my kids.
Healers are very smart. Cattle are all cattle dogs are very intelligent, but they do need room and they need a job because
Well,
that's what they were bred to do. Is herd. Those are herding dogs.
well, I mean, she just kind of hung around here and protected the family. I don't know what you mean, but I had cattle, but I just never used her for that. Like, so, but we never had any problems out of her, and I had her for 12,
No,
almost
no,
13 years.
listen, healers, cattle dogs, they're good. They just need exercise. They need to be out there. They need to be able to run because that's what they were born with. Yeah, I would. A healer's okay. Um,
What
Pomeranians
a
are
medium size? No,
yappy.
I don't do that. It's a Chihuahua with hair. Stop. That
I said they're yappy.
yeah, they like a what would be a smaller sized dog you would say that would be if because all these other breeds they're 45 and up, as far as pounds go. So what would be a lap dog that you would say, oh, that's a good dog for somebody that's not that versed in dog training?
You want to know something? Here's the problem why I'm having a hard time answering this particular question. I work with all the dogs that have problems, not the good ones.
No,
That's why it's not easily coming into my brain
no.
because I don't go out there and teach people that have problem dogs or dogs that they know need training.
Yeah.
You want
I,
to know something? And making me do work right now.
well, I definitely wouldn't recommend like a Frenchie or an English bulldog to a novice. Like those
Um,
dogs are they're very good dogs, and I love them. But they can be very hard headed. They're more hard headed than just about any dog I think I've ever been associated with.
they're not hard headed. They are very
You find a polite
strong
word to
willed.
say. Okay, well that's just a polite way of saying hard headed.
Right. All right. So we got this. Those two I said. I'm looking it up. So this list here has the poodle, border collie,
Oh, there you
very
go.
good,
Yes.
very good dog. Boxer is a
You
very
really?
good family dog. Is a very good family dog.
As long as you got room, right? Or as long as you're an active family.
Uh,
I've never met one of those
yes.
that didn't have ADD.
Well, yes, you have to have room for them.
Yeah.
Shih Tzus, that's a smaller dog.
Okay. I can go with that.
A Vizsla,
Let's see now.
Vizslas are very well. They're
You're
very
getting
good dogs.
exotic. You're getting exotic on us now.
Okay, Cocker Spaniel, King Charles Cavalier.
You
Those
know
are
what?
two good
There,
dogs.
okay. I'm gonna give you that. We're gonna say that's the third one. You went with the two retrievers. That right there. I don't know that I've ever. There's a lady that has a couple of them right around the corner, and I don't know that I've ever seen those dogs act in any kind of negative way. They're
They're
very
great
good
dogs.
pets. Yeah.
They're great dogs. Yeah, yeah.
So the three absolute do nots. Like you get all the bad ones. Like which ones, when they're bad, they are
If
the
you have no
worst.
idea what you're doing, do not get a Belgian Malinois.
Oh, I knew you was gonna say that. I knew it.
Do not get a Belgian Malinois. Stay away from the Shepherd family if you do not know what you are doing. I love pit bulls and I'm a pit bull advocate, but if you don't know how to handle them, do not get a pit bull. And they are not bad dogs. They do not have a locked jaw. I could go on this for 5 hours. But if you don't know, then you're going to fall into what you heard scenario and it ain't going to work out. So you want to stay away from pits if you have zero capabilities. You want to stay away from bully. How's about this? Bully breeds because a pit bull is not a breed. People think it's a breed. I have a
Right.
purebred pit bull. No, you don't. Bully breeds in general, if you don't know what you're doing, you're a novice, stay away from the bully breeds because they're thick-headed, strong-willed. They can destroy things
Yeah, their
if
prey
left
drive.
unintended.
Their
Right,
prey
left
drive is no
unintended.
joke, right? Like they can be set off if they're not handled and trained. And
Right,
and
but
it's not. They're not any worse than I guess other dogs, but the damage they can inflict if they're not managed properly is more than my lab's gonna do.
maybe not. You don't know that.
I
You
do.
don't
I
know
do know
that.
that. I do know Rowdy. My lab is he's not going to hurt anything.
If he had to, he would. But the next dog is a Rottweiler.
Yeah.
If you don't know what you're doing, there's a behavior with Rotties. They are very protective. They do their job. They don't like to drop things. They got something, they don't like to drop it. That could cause a problem. You don't know what you're doing. Stay away from a Rottie. And they're all beautiful dogs. I love them all. I love them. But if you don't know what you're doing, stay away because these dogs have to be trained. They have to be handled properly.
I couldn't agree with you more. I've been chased by German Shepherds. I've been bit by a Rottweiler when I was younger, and I just those are two breeds I'll never own just because of personal scars, emotional ones. But but yeah, that's a good list. I think it's more important that people know which ones they should get especially when they're starting off to get there. And I think that leads to a more permanent residence. Like if you get a dog that's outside of your capabilities or your home life, like having a Rottweiler in an apartment, I can't imagine is ever an idea, but you see it a lot. And
Because they saw it on a movie, they saw it on a TV show. There was a movie, and I don't know the name of it, and I didn't see it, but I know the scene where there's a Belgian Malinois who jumps and does some kind of thing and lands on the owner. Everybody went out and got Belgian Malinois there after that. People, that is a breed you need to know and understand. And I trained a few of them, and I got
yeah,
bit by a couple of them,
if they
and
use
I
them,
still trained a couple of them.
if soldiers are using them in a war zone, I don't know that they should be in your apartment unless you know what you're doing.
Right, right.
Because no soldiers walking around with poodles over there. You know what I'm saying? And no
No,
cops. I've never seen a canine cop. Never been pulled over by one that had a poodle or a Frenchie in the back. Those are
right,
just not dogs they use for that line of work.
right. Because they have abilities, but they have to be handled properly.
So I got one other question here before we get to the final one. Well, two more. I'm sorry. And this is a selfish question. Now, if you want to give away a little bit of game, how do you deal with a dog that barks all the time? What
We
would
have
be your first step? Your 101. Don't go college on us here. No, we're not there. We'll build up to that. 101. First step you should start doing tonight. The behavior you should start reinforcing tonight.
What is the dog barking at?
Just anybody that comes in the house, if it goes outside, it's barking, it leaves, going across the yard, just everything. There is no, it's not out of nowhere, but it is any movement.
So the
Especially
dog has a the dog has a fear of movement. What kind of dog?
it's a Frenchie.
The dog has a fear of movement and it has prey drive. So anything that moves, it can be perceived as prey. So the dog wants to rah rah rah. That's a baby. So you can't predict behavior. This is a behavior thing. It's a
Every
reactivity
time
thing.
the door opens, wherever he is, it is a dead sprint to the door, barking until whoever it is steps in, and it don't even matter who it is. It could be the mail lady, and then
Okay.
he just waves off, like it was just. It's like a game for him.
The
He
dog should be on a leash, and the dog needs to be taken out of the negative. Take away the line of sight. That's part one. So if you know somebody's coming home, put a leash on the dog and be waiting for that person to come in. As soon as that person comes in, turn around, get out of it, go someplace else.
okay.
That's one thing. Another thing, positively positively associate the dog to the things that it barks at, meaning undo what the dog knows. Every time the door opens and it reacts, it will get a correction. Every time the door opens and the dog does nothing, the dog will get a reward. But all of that is not easily explained right here. This is something that I would have to get up and like show, because this is counter conditioning reactivity to the door, to the leaves, um, things that move is not easily done. It has to be consistent. So you would open the door and the dog barks, the door slams, that person doesn't come in. The dog wants what's coming through the door. That's the ultimate reward right there. Wants what's coming in. So the person is approaching the door, knocks on the door, dog barks. You go to open the door, dog barks, but it's got to be on a leash. Door slams. The correction is you don't get what's behind that door. Door opens again. Dog barks, slam the door. You don't get that. You don't get to act like that. Over and over and over until the dog puts two and two together that when I sit here and be quiet, I get what's coming through the door. So that's a job. Give the dog a job. Have the dog sit, have the dog doing something while the person's all the way in. Because dogs can't do two things at once. They're linear thinkers. So if the dog is busy working with you and doing a sit or a down or whatever it is that the dog knows how to do proficiently, it can't be off chasing the dog. It can't be off barking at the dog. So the dog reacts. You take the dog out of the negative, go all the way over there, out of the line of sight, and work the dog. Give the dog a job working for you. Over and
I'm
over
good
and
with
over and
that.
over again.
I'm good with that. I'm gonna go buy new door hinges and a latch tomorrow because I know that's fixing to get beat off to train this dog. But that's we will start doing that effectively
If
like
you
once we're done here.
for folks that have singular dogs, a singular house dog, you can use a bar collar properly on a very low setting. But you have to integrate the dog. But you can't use that if you have multiple dogs in the house
You're talking about
because
yeah.
every
You say a bark collar. Are you talking about a bark collar or like a recall collar? Like
a bar.
are you trying to teach the dog not to bark ever?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
a dog that never ever stops. But the problem is that if there's five dogs in the house, if someone else barks, that dog is going to get the hit, the zap, the vibration, whatever it is, because
Yeah.
it gets a beep, vibration, or it could get a stim, an electric stim. Not usually necessary. You could just do it with the vibration a couple of times, and every time the dog
Right.
you put the collar on the dog, he knows not to bark. But if you have
I've
multiple
used
dogs,
a recall collar, but I always take those tabs out because you never like the vibration that's way more effective. Or well, I wouldn't say more effective, but it's effective enough. Like when you train them to if they run through that beep, and you just buzz them with the vibration part of it, like
right?
that's the end of it. Like I've never had to use the shock collar portion of it.
That's an e-collar. Don't call it shock collar. It's
I'm
an
sorry,
e-collar.
it's an
Well,
e-collar.
only because
Well,
that's another.
but that's
I'm trying to educate people on tools because they're trying to ban the e-collar, trying to ban the prong collar, e-collar, martingale collar,
the prong collar. Yeah, so
crates.
I take the prongs out because I don't want them ever to be scared. I guess I'm not a dog trainer, so I just if I don't
Not
need that
every
step, if I don't need that step, I don't ever want to imply because I feel like that would I don't want I don't want a weak minded dog. I don't want a dog that's scared that it's gonna get in
yeah, but
trouble.
that's not meant to scare the dog. It's meant to teach the dog if
Well, I'm
it's
gonna
done
be honest with you.
properly.
Me and my brother, we had a little tasty adult beverage one time, and we decided to try that out, and it scared the hell out of me. It shocked me enough, or it e-collared me enough that that
But then
I didn't want it no more.
the setting was too high because
I quit. I
I don't
quit
put
barking
anything on a
instantly.
dog. I don't put anything on a dog that I can't put on myself.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I have like an unhealthy fear of electricity, so there's that's probably why I will not touch e-collars.
Okay. Okay.
And I'm not saying anybody's bad for using them because I use the vibration portion and the buzzer part and literally like most of my dogs I can put it on and if you beep it they'll come right back to you when it's time for them to come
And
back to
that's the
recall.
same, it's the same theory with an e-collar, but not every dog, not certainly not every human, and not every behavior gets an e-collar. And
No,
you don't
yeah.
ever use an e-collar first. No tools first. People go right to tools. Let me put a prong, let me do this, let me do that. Tools are last. You teach the dog yourself first. Tools come in later to help, to solidify what you want the dog to do or not do. And they're not meant to hurt, and they're not meant to scare the dog. It's a tool. It's not meant to hurt. People that use e-collars and shock the shit out of dogs, I'm gonna do it to them. I'd like to put it on you and shock the shit out of you.
Well, I already did it to myself, so you can just take it easy. You don't gonna get me. I didn't shock the dog. I shocked me and my brother shocked ourselves, and
I'm very adamant with
we
people that hurt animals, that use things that shouldn't be used. You have to use it properly or don't use it at all.
Right, because I mean it's a pet. Like it's I believe if you if you discipline the dogs too hard like that, like you back them up. Like
That's
it
right.
makes it even harder to get them to do the behavior you want.
You know why? There's a reason. Humans and dogs learn completely different. We humans learn by failure. You fail, you're going to wake up and do it again and again and again and again until you get it right. Dogs learn by success. The dog has to understand that you're happy with what the dog did. If the dog constantly fails, constantly gets yelled at, the dog does not want to learn.
Well, that makes sense. I feel like they may share that trait a little bit more with humans too. If you constantly get beat down, you know,
Yes,
then
yes,
you just
exactly.
give up trying to please anybody.
Right, right. But dogs want to please.
So no, I agree with that. I mean I not that my opinion carries a whole bunch of weight, but 100% every dog I've ever had that is that's the one thing they 100% want to do is please you. Now let's lighten the mood so we can get off of old Sparky collar here and and do you, so just two more questions or quick questions here. One is do you feel like I kind of asked this earlier? Do you feel like you're ever like you're training the owners as much as the dogs because you have to teach the no? I mean, you might not want
Yes,
to, but
yes. No, it's I have to train the people.
right because they have the bad behavior because of the people they're with,
Or
right?
it's whatever the reason is, the people have to know because
Did she just mute herself? Hello? Uh-oh.
but
There you are.
if you
Whatever.
if you do not learn, you can't continue to teach the dog because I don't live here. I'm only here for a couple of hours once a week. So yes, I'm teaching people. I am absolutely teaching people because the humans have to follow through.
Yeah, it's the consistency you spoke of earlier, right? So
Absolutely.
so this one I kind of skipped over this, but I think it's very important. It goes along with the breeds that you would invite into somebody's home for the if they're not very so health and behavior. Just give me your top one and your to that would be a positive and your top negative to stay away from this dog breed because of health and behavior issues. So like your most healthiest dog to where you shouldn't have a lot of problems and be going to the vet a lot. And then the one that I know you're gonna say Frenchie's on the backside, so I'm just gonna give it to you. So what's the healthiest?
So I'm not a vet. So just from experience only, um, the larger the breed, they have more problems because of hips and kneecap and ACLs and all of that. Um, mixed breed mutts, outright mutts are like the healthiest ever. They're
Why?
just
Because they're like country kids. They're just exposed to a lot of germs. They got a lot of
yeah,
genetics
I
to them.
guess. I guess again, I'm not a vet, but every mutt that I've ever had lived forever.
Okay.
Well, I guess and again, I'm gonna just give you the Frenchie one for the worst because I know that's where we're going with
Bullies in general, they got the breathing issues. You got the brackish snout that's
that.
pushed in
Right.
snout. So you got English bullies, you got French bullies, you got what the hell's the other one here?
Well, English bulldogs, but I mean, so you don't think that there's anything to work for, like so I like when I breed the Frenchie, like all mine have pretty open nares. Like if they had pinched nares,
Oh,
like that's
Right, right,
that's a no go there.
right. Well, you could get that fixed, the pitch
Well,
nose.
you can, but not if you were going. You can get it fixed, but if you breed that dog, you put it right back in.
Correct,
That dog should just be
correct.
fixed. You should never breed a dog with pinched nares.
Agreed, agreed,
Okay.
agreed.
So I that's why I figured you were gonna say Frenchies because their breathing is it is a problem, and with the rush of popularity it had,
Yeah.
like
Everybody
that
wanted it. Everybody wanted a Frenchie. Everybody wanted an English bulldog. So what did they do? They overbred. They inbred. They bred bad with bad with bad with bad, and now that's what we get: sicker dogs. Because
yeah
this is what people want to do to make money.
Oh, you
right.
think Frenchies are worse?
Right.
Do you think Frenchies are worse than bullies?
Say that again. Your sound went
He
off.
was asking if you thought Frenchies were worse than like bullies, but I guess
That's a
I
bully
might
breed. The
well,
bully breed.
but bullies have a
Oh,
snout too, so
Fully
like
breed.
they
Okay.
don't have the smush face as bad as Frenchies. I'm not saying that
No.
they're better than labs, but they have more of a snout. Are we good?
Yeah.
Oh, well, everybody got real still on my screen. I was like, oh well. I live in
Yeah.
the country. I live in the country, and I'm on Elon Musk internet, so it's good most of the time. But every now and then, for whatever reason, a star gets in the way or something, I guess, and
Yeah.
it'll just lose signal. But I'm unless you got something that you don't feel that you've said that needs to
Pablo,
be
come here.
said, like I feel like
I want to
we've
ask
covered
her.
a lot of ground.
I want to ask her about the one thing about the cowering down part. So what if the dogs do that, but you don't hit the dogs, but that's just how they react?
No, that's not just how they react. So,
So you've never
so
seen dogs that just bow down and never been hit.
say that again. I've never seen what?
So you've never seen one cower down that has never been hit.
Yes, I have, but that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with hitting. It it it, it could be fear. It could be spatial context. It could be something fell on the dog. That you're going into behavior there. That's not a training question. You're going into behavior, but there's a whole lot of questions that I would have to ask
And
to
the only
answer
reason I'm
this
asking
question.
that is because I've had plenty of puppies that they see the routine around the house. I treat my
Okay.
dog real good, real good. My dogs live real good, but at the same time, I can say no to other dogs and they all bow.
That could be your voice. That's the
Okay,
spatial context. Your voice, and they bow down because they are submitting to you. That's not
yeah, because they know when
necessarily
they've
it.
done something wrong. I can walk in a room and they'll
No,
do
no,
it.
no, no, no. Don't say that. Do not say that.
Here we
They
go.
do
I
not
knew it.
know when they did something wrong.
See, that's why I heard you say earlier because I have been told dogs have no concept of time. They have no
It's
concept
not
of
about time. It's not about time. They do not know. All right, you leave your favorite whatever in the middle of the room on the floor. You come home, it's chewed up. We all know that the dog did it, but you did not catch the dog in the act of doing it. But
right,
all of a sudden you go, you did this, blah, blah, blah. The dog puts his tail between his legs, ears go back, cowers down, goes underneath the dining room table because the dog knows what he did. No, he
right.
didn't. Oh, no, he doesn't. He knows
No,
that you're pissed off from the change of your voice.
right,
You have
right.
to catch the dog in the middle of the act. He does not know you're yelling at him for what he did here. He knows you're mad. He does not know why. Even if you show it to him, even
Right.
if he shits or pisses on the floor and you put your nose into it, his nose into it, he does not know. He does not know.
Well, I
Spatial
know it's like a
context.
game for them that they kind of, like you said, with the reward and things. They get used to certain hand motions, certain commands, and that's just pretty much how they what they react to. Right.
Yes, but it's not a game.
Okay.
But they do not know why you are upset with them. They do not know automatically what they did wrong. You know why? They just don't know.
So
A,
how-
they
so
don't
so
know.
when you so when you give them a reward for doing things, then how do they know that you're happy with them for doing it? It's the same thing. It's just the opposite, good or bad. So how would they know that how do they know good but they don't know bad?
Because you didn't teach them. There's one, two, three, and one, two, three. You teach a dog, I want you to do this. I want you to sit. You give the hand signal, you give the command, the
Right.
dog sits, the
Right.
dog gets a reward, a
Right.
food reward, and a reward from you.
Right, right.
One,
With the
two,
patting
three.
and saying "good girl" with a certain command, and they know that it's a. So it's not
That's
like
right.
a game to them though for the
No, it
reward.
ain't a game. No, it's not. It's a job. It's a job.
Okay.
Conversely, when the dog does something wrong and you catch the dog, you walk in and the dog is actively chewing on something that is not allowed. That's one. You turn around and go, yo, that's the correction sound. Dog stops. That's two. You reward the dog for stopping. Good boy, good girl. The dog did what you wanted it to do, which is stop. Every time the dog chews on this, you correct him for doing it. He does it. You make a correction sound. The dog stops. That's two.
Right.
You reward the dog for stopping. That's three. Everything is done in threes. 1, 2, 3. Whether it's right or wrong.
Okay.
And it ain't a game. It's a job. And you're teaching the dog, you're not allowed to touch this. But if the dog knew commands prior, such as leave it and drop it, the dog wouldn't chew that. So anything that you leave on the floor or that is in reach of the dog and the dog chews and he doesn't know he's not allowed to, it's your fault. Not the
Well, of
dog's
course,
fault.
yeah, of course. At that point, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that at 100%. Yeah.
Well, I think we've covered this pretty thoroughly here. And I'm like I said, I was expecting different answers, and I think T-Rod just got one there. So yeah. So if y'all don't mind, we're gonna go ahead and end this one, and all I'm gonna do is stop the recording, and then I'll start another one, and we'll get to Eric here, who's been patiently waiting, and I can tell you have him very well trained. He's been sitting still the whole time, and hey, don't worry, I was married a long time too. I got it. I just jest. So let me get this stopped here.
I have to take a pause though, because I have to take this dog out, so I need 5 minutes. But you guys can start.
If okay.
You guys can start. I'll be right back.
All right. We'll get to it then. We'll look forward to you coming back.
Okay.